creativity,
ideas,
innovation,
change,
leadership,
development,
youth in entrepreneurship. Only on
Radio REEYAZ 96.8 MHz.
Good evening and namaste. Welcome to the third episode of Youth in Entrepreneurship Season 3. This program is presented by Radio REEYAZ in collaboration with UTSAH Nepal. You are listening to Youth in Entrepreneurship every Sunday 5 to 6 p.m. I am Medha, your radio host. The concept director for this program is Abhilasha Rayamajhi. Youth in Entrepreneurship is a radio talk show where we interview and share stories of entrepreneurs and attempt to understand the current scenario of entrepreneurial business in Nepal. The main objective of this show is to promote innovative ideas of our younger generation. Our guest for today's episode is Neha Shrestha Amatya. She is a module leader, a lecturer, marketing director of Multi-Trading Private Limited and a member of Youth Entrepreneur Forum and also a young entrepreneur. So let us welcome Neha Shrestha Amatya. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm all good.
What do you have to say about the present scenario of entrepreneurship in Nepal?
Well, Nepal is a very complex environment that we are living in. You know, it's very difficult to, when you talk about not only entrepreneur but small business. Even if you talk about like mom and pop stores, even if you talk about street shops that are there, it's a very difficult market that we're living in. So entrepreneur is a very we can't take the term very lightly, because the entrepreneur, the term is so huge that it can actually turn the country economy and policies, right? So when you're talking about entrepreneurship, I think it is very important that the current generation, like you guys, like us, we should take it very seriously, because it is very important that there's creativity that can be used. It's important that people innovate things. It's important that people think out of the box. I keep telling my students as well that it's very important, rather than just focusing on what the universities give, what the courses contain is, it's very important that they build themselves to become entrepreneurs. It's important because the current scenario is difficult, of course, but we can somehow, with the help of each other, with the help like we helped each other in earthquake, we can help each other with that. And if we sit together, if we work on it, I think it's not a very difficult job, because a small creativity, like even making a needle, you can start with that, or making a fruit shop, it's these are very simple things. But when you talk about organic, there's a new market for it, like just basic things, whatever you do, it is entrepreneurship. And if you can develop it, it's excellent. It's a good market.
Can you tell us something about your work as a module leader in the British College?
Well, it's interesting, like not only British, also like I'm with ACE International as well, and both are challenging. It's UK based degree and I love the course there. Frankly, I'm not criticizing the Nepali education, but I think it's time that they change the syllabus somewhat, try to think about external activities rather than scoring 100%, or even like if you get a 80%, it's less, you have to get a 4 GPA. I don't think that's the environment that we should be right now. So yes, like I was saying, like UK degrees, they have extracurricular stuff. They have, rather than just having marketing syllabus, rather than just having business syllabus, they have extra curricular activities. I even like what ACE is doing about extracurricular, because it's not only the final exams. So yes, I mean teaching at British, at ACE, I think it is very challenging, and I think the students love it there, as I can judge. So yes, it is good.
So you enjoy your work there?
Oh yes, I love my work. I love teaching the students. Like I tell them that it's not only that I am a teacher, so I have to teach. It's also that I'm learning a lot from them. We try to build relationship. I'm still friends with them, and we have an excellent communication. So it's awesome.
And what is Youth Entrepreneur Forum?
Well, it is a part of Nepal Chamber of Commerce. Our president, Rayamajhi Shrestha, he actually introduced this and I think it's 1.5-2 years back. And yes, we have youth entrepreneurs. We have like about 15 of us who sit, who come together at least like once, twice a month, even sometimes thrice a month. What we do is we are trying to create a bridge between new entrepreneurs and the existing entrepreneurs who've already reached that style, and it's very important for that because the young entrepreneurs, they don't know what to do, they don't know where to go, right? So if they come to us, then we are bridging that gap. We are giving trainings, we are having product launch if they need any assurance, if they need any guidance training, so we are there to connect the business with the entrepreneurs. So yes,
what is your role in this forum?
Well, we are members. Well, the role is actually just to come together because we are doing it for us as well, because it's for our benefit. We are getting to know people. We are learning so much. I'm not like, and then if there are new people, if there are new ideas, because somehow as days go back, I'm getting older, and then I can sense that. So when I interact with young people, you learn a lot of things. I'm not saying we just have to learn from the experienced ones. We are learning a lot from them, and then we are giving them the platform to come out of that box. If they need any finance help, if they need any banking, insurance, if they need anything, so we are there as a chamber. It's very important. Yes.
What are your roles in Multi Trading Private Limited as a marketing director?
Yes, actually, we are a trading company. We import a lot of things, from starting from solar. We have mountain bikes. We have different varieties of items for outdoor equipments and everything. So I'm there, just marketing. Like it said, I'm a marketing director there. So I'm helping the company if there's any launches, or if there's anything that is to deal with marketing, to talk to the people, to get to the market. So I guess that's it. Yeah.
You established your own company, Laskus Trading, in 2011. What challenges did you face during the operations of the business?
Oh well, it was actually import business. I imported garments from India. I have a friend who has a factory in South India, and because the garments are very good, it's export quality. She sends it to Europe and all that. So I thought it's a good opportunity in Nepal. But of course, I think the main thing is the banking system. A little bit we need to move ahead with technology, and the another thing is credit system. It's very difficult to work in Nepal with credit system. We don't have plenty of cash just hanging around in the trees. So one thing is very important. Even though we can invest, the return, it takes a bit time, and then the market is very complex. In Nepal, people want good quality but cheap products. They're not ready to spend 10,000-20,000. Like, for example, I imported really good woolen jackets. You could just wear that. It was very nice export quality. But then, the price was a little bit more expensive. So with that, people are very skeptic. Why will I spend 4,000 for 5,000, 6,000 for a jacket? I'll pay 1,000, but they don't understand the quality is very important. And if people in Nepal don't understand the quality, businesses like us, it's going to be a problem. So I think that's the challenge that we had. Yeah.
Do you face any other hardships and challenges in your way?
Hardship, well, of course, when you have earthquakes coming every day in Nepal, if you mean, that is one hardship, because every time you go into the bathroom you have to think twice. Every time you have to, if you're going on the 7th floor, then you have to think 700 times. So that is what it's nature. You can't say anything about it. But otherwise, I think I think it's fine. We have a lot of drawbacks living in this country as an entrepreneur, but I think with what we have that is very important is society, and we have the support of our friends and family. So I think that's a thumbs up. So yes, it's not a problem.
Ma'am, you are a lecturer at ACE Institute of Management. How is your experience teaching the youths and emerging business entrepreneurs about business and marketing?
Well, like I've already mentioned, I love talking to my students. We communicate a lot. Every time I have a new session or new students coming up, I tell them that, it's not what we have inside this class, it's what we have outside. And it's important that we build relationship, because in Nepal or anywhere in the world, it's very important that we maintain relationship, we build relationship, because we without that, we cannot move forward, right? So it is interesting because I see there's so much potential. Like just last week, I'd given my students some project, and they have done an excellent job. They were so creative in advertising. They made so many nice posters and videos and advertisement. I was spellbound. I told them as well. And I congratulated them, saying that I think we can get good entrepreneurs from this class. I said, do it, don't think about anything too much, just move ahead. It's very good, because I can see that the youth is really good these days. They're very smart, they're very creative, and if we give them that platform, I think they can excel.
According to you, what is the scope for young entrepreneurs in a developing country like Nepal?
The question is already answering whatever I want to say, because it is a developing country, so you can sense that there are a lot of opportunities. So because it's developing, so we should move towards making it developed, right? So if the entrepreneurs can actually build in ideas, if they can do something that can actually make sure that, you know, what is lacking in Nepal can be built up. Like, for example, if you talk about, you know, making anything big, making anything small, you talk about entrepreneurship development, you talk about bringing people together, you're talking about, you know, collaboration, anything, you know. So I think it's important because it's a developing country. For how long will it stay a developing country? You know, it's time to move ahead from that ing, you know, to make it ed, right? So it's important, yes.
Since you are a lecturer, do you suggest your students to establish their own ventures, or do you advise them to work in other established organizations?
Well, these are two different things. Like, because I can already see students who are already doing something different, you know. So I tell them, I make sure that I tell them, you have to become entrepreneurs. You can't go to an office and stay there 9 to 5 and just sit in front of the computer when your brain is thinking of something else, when your brain is so creative. It's important that they work in an established organization to learn something out of it. But for how long can you work under somebody else when you are yourself built to become an entrepreneur, right? So they can learn from there, but I think it's important that you do something on your own, you develop something on your own, not only in the field of banking, because there's no lacking of banking industry, I think, in Nepal, right? So something else, right? Not hospital, not schools, you know, because everybody is doing that, you know. So what else can you do out of that? You can learn from the companies, but you have to make your own model, right?
So what is the trend among business graduates in Nepal? Do they establish their own ventures, or are they working for banks and other institutions?
Well, maximum, as we know, you know, most of them go for bank. You know, they want the experience, they get internship, and I don't think it's very healthy. You know, it's important that instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to do an internship, I'm going to get experience, rather do something that you get experience rather than just doing what other people are doing. Because your brother is there in the bank, because your uncle is there in the bank, so it's easy for you to get a job. You get internship, and then you know what the pay is. You know, I don't think it is. I think it's, if you want to earn something, if you want to develop your brains, I think you have to become an entrepreneur. But I see that many of my students, or you know, my ex-students, they try to go into banks and start with internship, because the market is very it is like that, you know. There's a very little choice is a little bit limited comparatively.
So what do you suggest then?
Well, like I said, you know, instead of just being in front of the computer, you know, rather you do something creative. I always tell my students, you need to be creative. You need to think outside the box. You can't say, okay, this is right, this is wrong, you know. Try to prove that, okay, wrong is right or right is wrong, you know. Then you will challenge yourself. Because if you don't do that, if you don't challenge yourself, and if you just go to the bank and, you know, or I'm not only blaming the banks, but anything, you know, just sit for being an intern, and then for 1 year, 2 years, and then you are frustrated. Rather do something that you like, you know. Even if I'm teaching my BBA students, you know, I tell them, like, if this is not your field, then go into something else. Maybe at the end of the day, when you want to sleep, you want to listen to music, so become a musician, you know. You can do anything, you know, because it's a very big place that we're living in, and there are so many things that can be developed and has been developing. So try to think about research, try to think about something that people have not been doing, you know. So that is very important, right? So so for my suggestion is to be smart, and not smart in the sense that getting a 90, but to be street smart. So that's very important.
And what do you have to say to the large number of youth force leaving Nepal and going abroad for jobs? Okay, leave Nepal, get a job, earn, and then come back, and then do what they have learned there. You know, like I said, you know, you learn a lot, because when you travel abroad, you know, you learn about that system, you learn about you explore a lot of things. Like, for example, I did my masters in London, and when I studied there, you know, I learned so many things. I learned about the culture, I learned about how the system works, and you can figure out the difference, you know. So if you are working there, it's good for you. You're sending back to your country, your home, which is even better. But then come back and develop what you've learned, you know, because that is very important. You know, we should not blame people who are going abroad, but we should blame people who are not coming back and not developing, because of course the situation is like that in Nepal. You know, people think that there are no opportunities, but I'm sure opportunities can be created. So yeah. What are the flaws and challenges that young entrepreneurs should work on?
One thing is, yes, they need to know how to communicate. They need to be good speakers, because in a country like ours or anywhere, I don't think being quiet. I tell my students, I have few students who are very calm and quiet. They don't talk in class. I make sure that they talk, because if you don't talk, you can't win the world. I'm not saying that you have to talk like blabber, but then you have to talk, because even at home, even if we don't talk, then things are not going to be done. Like, for example, if you have a cousin or your sister or your brother who talk more, they are the ones who get things done. If you are quiet, then nobody's going to listen to you. So it's not like how, like in India, they say Gandhi ji ko ek hath, something like, I can't even say, like if somebody slaps you in one face, then you should lend the other face. I don't think that's the world that we're living in right now. So if the more you are quiet, the more people are going to suppress you. So if you speak, if you know what you are speaking, and if you move ahead like that, like if you move ahead thinking that this is me and I'm going to do this, stay positive, I think it's going to work wonders for you.
What is your experience regarding young women in entrepreneurship and workforce?
Well, it is funny, because yesterday I was driving back home and I saw one lady. She was driving a taxi, and as soon as I saw that, and then my husband is like, see, women can do everything. So that is what we are looking, that respect, because instead of saying, oh look, she's driving a taxi, why, what will happen, what will she do in the night, he said, like, look at that, women can do anything, so that is what we are talking about. We are talking about women that can actually drive a taxi, let's say, become the CEO, become the president, become whatever, so that is the nature we are looking at. We're talking about equality. I also say that, equality, we cannot have, men and women can never be equal. And I'm not saying women has to be above men or men has to be above women, because we are two different genders. It is made like that. Let's stay where we are, but let's do wonders in our own way. We can't compete against each other. This is not we don't want to have a gender fight. I don't think this makes sense. So yeah, we have to do something like that. Women have to become strong. We can't be too dependent, right? So the dependency will kill things. So yeah.
What can be done to encourage more females in this field?
In entrepreneurship, I can see there's a lot of boom. I can see that people are actually, they're actually coming out of it. They are doing a lot of things. I can see, like, you guys are excellent out here. You guys are doing a lot of good job in doing this program, and women are handling it. I can see that. So yeah, something like this, it is encouraging, and women are able to speak. They are becoming better, and it's not like the old tradition where, women stay at home. They have to be bounded in at home. They are coming out, you can't say that. And the problem is not with us. It also depends on the family, because our country is like family oriented, it's social. So I think there's nobody right now to say no, women cannot work. Like if you get married, you cannot work. So if that modernization comes, I think there's no stoppage to it.
You finished your international business and marketing course in London. You could have stayed there, but what brought you back to Nepal?
Family. Yeah, so basically I think London is a good place to study. I think it's a good place to roam. It's a good place if you want to go for a vacation. But I think where your heart is, that's what they say. So I came back for my family, and I came back for my just for Nepal. It's good. Like, I love London, that's one of my favorite places, but I love Nepal even more, because you are more relaxed here, and people are laid back, so I like that as well. So yeah, and plus I didn't think I would do a job in a country like that. I rather become an entrepreneur in my own country. So rather than working for somebody else that also a UK person, I rather work for my own company or do something new in this country. So that's why I came back.
That's great. Can you tell us something about your school and college life?
Well, I've always been in a boarding since class 1. I was in St. Mary's, Nepal. Then I went to Nainital. I did my college, my bachelor's in Bangalore in India. And then I did my master's in London. So it was fun. I've always been close to my friends. I still talk to them. I still meet my childhood friends. And, of course, life gets busy, but you still remember those notorious things that you do in school, I was a pretty, let's say, I mean, I don't want to complain about anything, but I was naughty a little bit, but then I somehow was studious, especially I participated a lot in extracurricular activities. So the best part was, if you participate in that, you don't mind the attendance, so you don't have to sit in class. So yeah, I mean, I did that, but yes, I mean, I was not a bad student also, so I could manage that. It was fun. I loved my schooling and college because my friends are very dear to me, so yes.
Now let us talk about your time management. Are you able to give enough time to your work as well as your family?
Yes, I think I give more time to my family because we work so that we can provide for the family. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the provider, you know. I have my in-laws are there, my parents are there, my husband is there, you know. But it's why we earn is to eat, to enjoy, you know. If you cannot do that, then what's the point of life, right? So I'm not a person who will work from morning till the evening and just, you know, slog, you know, but I am someone who like to have more fun rather than work. So my work is more fun to me, you know. I enjoy doing things. If I don't enjoy, then I just lose interest. So I am like that. So I don't think work should be given so much 100% priority. I think family should be given because they are the ones who are there, you know, like. So yeah, family is important.
What inspired you to go in this field?
Business, because I come from a business background and we are Nevaris. So, you know, well, in Nepal, I'm not saying like, I don't want to be like caste discrimination, you know, but, you know, what I'm trying to say is like, I am from a business, my parents, my family is a business family, and my brothers, my sisters, whoever is there, you know, they've always been doing business. So, and I always had interest in business. I love challenges like in marketing. I love advertising field. I love this field, so that's why I chose it. So yes, I mean, it is fun. I like creative stuff, so that's why I chose. The business is creativity, so it's important. Yes.
Is there an interesting story that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Interesting story, you know, I don't know. I can't think of anything right now, but I think. Well, I think every day is interesting. Frankly speaking, I have nothing in my mind because I just speak with the flow. So yeah, I mean, interesting would be an earthquake incident where you are in the middle of an earthquake and you don't know to run upstairs or downstairs, because people say if you run down, then you will be smashed, or if you go up, then your neighbor's building will fall on you. So we have had that experience, so I think all of us can relate to it, you know. We've seen tragedies, but then when you think of it, sometimes we laugh about it even though we shouldn't. But yeah, I mean, recently, because we are so overpowered by earthquake and then this fuel crisis, so you know, yeah, one thing I would like to say that, you know, normally when I'm a shopping freak, so before the crisis, before earthquake, all I could see was, you know, I used to notice what was hanging in the boutiques and what was hanging in the jewelry shops and all. But during the crisis, I was noticing if the petrol was there, you know, if the petrol bunks are open. So I think that you should relate to it. So yes, that is there.
Besides what you are doing right now, what are your other interests?
Since childhood, I always liked to paint and sketch. So I've always been sketching, and even when I was studying in Nainital, I learned sketching and painting, oil painting, you know. You have charcoal painting. So I love painting. So like I said, I always was inclined towards creativity. That's why I love marketing. After I did my master's, when I came back, I was in Nepal, and I was really inclined into learning something different, you know, rather than just having the business knowledge and marketing knowledge. So I joined fashion designing diploma course. It was like almost a year course, and then I learned the basics of designing. I learned the basic of stitching, and you know, I learned about colors and patterns and all that. So that was my interest since childhood, and I loved when I did that, you know. Like I said, if you really love what you do, then you know, you're giving your best to it. And I loved it so much. I used to love going to classes. I learned so much. I picked up things very fast, and I'm still in touch with my teachers. And then, you know, it's very good, because rather than just doing what you've been doing since childhood, like, you know, like just studying business, just doing science, commerce and all, do something extra, you know, because that's going to be a skill. And if we can develop that, we can do a lot of things, you know, because we have so many things going on in our mind. We have so many things that is happening in and around. If we know an extra skill, especially being a woman, it is really good, right? So now also sometimes I stitch clothes, I stitch clothes for my niece and nephews and my sister's kids, and even my sisters. I design clothes for them in parties, because nowadays if you see, there are so many boutiques, they're like mushrooms popping up. So I mean, they're doing very well. I think the designs are coming up. It's really excellent, and I fancy these stuff, So I learn from them as well. I learn from what happens in the International Fashion Week and everything. I follow the fashion TVs and everything. I follow even Lakme Fashion Week. And if I see these designs, if I see these patterns, it really interests me. So I, apart from learning fashion designing, it helps me to understand, the market. It helps me to understand what is the latest trend, even for myself, if I want to shop for myself, and if I want to suggest my sisters and anybody, so I do that a lot. And nowadays there's a fashion of anything, you can mix everything. And I always tell my people whom I talk to about fashion that you don't have to follow what other person is doing. You need to build that, and then you have to make your own fashion, so it's very important, that you follow what is happening, but you don't have to do exactly what is happening in the market, but do something that is you are comfortable in. You don't have to be out of the box. You don't have to wear 10 inches heels. You can wear flats and you can look superb. So yeah, so I love that as well.
As you said earlier, you like shopping and you also know the market well. Where do you go to shopping usually?
Well, I mean, there are so many places in Nepal, but now I think we also have online shopping that is really booming, so that is a good market. But I can see, like I already said, there are so many boutiques are coming up and small stores that are opened by mostly women, so it is good, and they are also doing something that, they love to do, and women love to shop. So, it is an excellent platform for them and for us to shop more. And also, because China is there, so everything is so reasonable. So, I can't, of course, I often go to New Road as well if you want to buy something like that traditional way. If otherwise, you have few shops in Dharmarg that is really good. There are few shops in city center also that is really good. So I mean, I go around, but then now because of online shopping, you see so many products online and you can just order, and then if you're lazy, then it's even better, so yeah, I mean, I love shopping. So I shop here. I sometimes, luckily, if I happen to go abroad, then I get from there, because you get the sizes. So yeah, I mean, if I see a shop and if I like it, then it could be anywhere, any part of Nepal. So
as a fashion student, where do you see Nepal's product in national and international market?
Well, I think Nepali fashion, even if you're not a Nepal fashion student, I think Nepalese people, they really know how to dress smart. So it's like they look good in what they dress, they know how to dress. And if you look at the trends, in Nepal, people are so modernized, they follow what is happening, and they're ready to, buy, they're ready to, get into that market of fashion, So I see that because there are so many booming boutiques, I see that, and plus online stores that they have developed, I can see that, Nepal's fashion can really go ahead. And this is a very good market for, female entrepreneurs as well, going into fashion. And if they really do well, I think it's a good business. And because fashion is something that has been there for a long time and people still follow it, so it is very important that not only what is there in the market, but develop something unique. Like you have Prabal Gurung, he's done so well for himself. So why not more designers from Nepal? Why not more exposures? Why not have people who are more creative than they're there in the market as fashion designers? So I think it's a good scope. I think Nepalese people, especially women, they can really do so much into fashion because they have it in them, really.
As an expert, what is your marketing secret that you want to share and suggest our new entrepreneurs?
I think it would be to talk, to communicate and build relationship. And one thing that is very important for marketing and for any aspiring entrepreneur is to be happy. Because if you're not happy, then nothing is going to work out, because even waking up in the morning, even doing small chores in the morning, if the happiness element, the peace element is not there, you cannot become a good person, you cannot become a good business person, you cannot become a good human being at the end, from within. If you are ready to help people, if you're ready to be there, if you are a good human being from inside, neither can you be good to your family, neither can you be good to your friends, your business will never succeed. Happiness is important in what you are doing, so I can't tell them that you have to do this in your business, because every business is different, but what I can suggest is, if you are happy with what you do, if you have peace from within, then I think nothing can stop you from doing anything in the world.
How do you define success?
Success is, I think, it should be something that, it's like you develop it, you reach that point, and when you look back, you have every people that you walked with around you, because you are successful. At the end of the day, if you have to sleep in your bed alone, then it makes no sense. If you have family with you and you have what you wanted, then I think that is success. Like, if you have people whom you love, if you have people whom you supported, who supported you in your success, in your way to success, so I think that is success, rather than becoming a multimillionaire, or rather than earning millions and billions of dollars. It's what you have when you are actually at the end of the day. Yes. So
Who inspires you in your field?
Well, there are a lot of people that I follow. You have entrepreneurs. You have international entrepreneurs. You have even local businessmen, even Nepali entrepreneurs. They're doing very well. So if you look at it, I think you talk about. Frankly speaking, if you actually take examples of well-renowned people like Steve Jobs, like Mark Zuckerberg, and all these people, I think they are the ones who actually didn't complete their education, and then they are the ones who actually succeeded. So in that way, they are my inspiration. But there are people who have actually are Harvard graduates and still they are successful. So you can, like I said, you can't follow people. You can't follow people exactly. You follow them, you take the ideas, and then you make your own model. So that is very important. So I can't say I follow this person or that person. I take ideas. Like, my parents are very supportive. My dad is very helpful. My husband, my in-laws, they're very good. And my mom, she's always been there, because what are mothers for, to be there for you, and my siblings, my cousins, everybody, so everybody is an inspiration. So it's important we take inspiration from each and every person, from a baby till old people, like my grandparents or anybody. Yes, so everybody.
Do you think that education degrees matter to become an entrepreneur?
Of course it matters. It matters in the sense that you learn from education. That's what I said, when you talk about Nepali education, it needs to be more modern, rather than just having whatever syllabus they had 10 years back. If we have more knowledge, out of the box experience, I think education is very important. Now, when you talk about education does not mean only degree. It could be something otherwise also, like, for example, what you learn, let's say you learn about creativity. Again, I'm saying that same thing. You learn about innovation, you learn about becoming a good speaker, you learn about interacting with people, you learn the writing, everything, because all these things are needed. It's not what you do, like, it's not a plus minus thing, it's not calculation, it's something that you need to develop. So that is education. So yes, it is important.
We're almost at the end of our show today. So, is there any advice or suggestion that you'd like to give to the younger generation who aspire to be like you?
I say, don't aspire to be like me. Be yourself, right? You need to, again, I'm saying, be creative, be innovative, right? Wake up in the morning, stay fresh, and be positive. That is very important. Because when you wake up in the morning, if you're not fresh, then your whole day becomes really bad. So as soon as you wake up, if you're smiling, if you have people who are happy around you, then it's your day is going to be good. That means every day is going to be good. So you need to be yourself. You can't be somebody else. You can't be like what the other person is telling you to be. Because like you say, you can take the horse to the water, because you cannot make it drink it, right? So if you cannot do that, then you cannot force someone to do things. It comes from within. So if something that you want to do comes from within, if you're positive, if you really want to do what you want to do, then yes, the world is it's a beautiful place.
We had a really enlightening conversation today, and I'm sure our listeners must have been inspired after listening to your stories, and they might want to be in contact with you. So is there any contact information that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Well, I mean, you guys can contact Radio REEYAZ, and then we can sit together. They're doing doing an excellent job in entrepreneurship. They're encouraging women. They're doing trainings, as I can hear, So if there's anything, contact them, and we can keep in touch. So this is an excellent platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you with us today on Youth in Entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much, Medha, and thank you, Radio REEYAZ. It was an excellent opportunity. It was great sharing my experience and, talking about entrepreneurship, women. I loved today's time. Thank you so much for inviting me.
If you have any queries or suggestions regarding the show, or if you are a young entrepreneur yourself who would like to be interviewed on this show, you can write to us. You can message us on our Facebook page, Youth in Entrepreneurship, or email us at youthinentrepreneurship@gmail.com. YOUTH Youth, INNENTREPRENEURSHIP Entrepreneurship, youthinentrepreneurship@gmail.com. You can also call us on our number 4670-820, 4670-820. You can also like our Facebook page and join our group Radio REEYAZ 96.8 MHz. You can also hear our shows on YouTube. Log on to youtube.com/Youth in Entrepreneurship. Thank you so much for listening to Youth in Entrepreneurship in Radio REEYAZ 96.8 MHz in collaboration with UTSAH Nepal. I'd also like to thank our concept director, Abhilasha Rayamajhi. We will be back again next week with yet another amazing guest. Till then, take care and have a wonderful week. Namaste.